So Jack, can you give me 3 predictions for the next 5 years, just lay of the land of the media industry?
These always get you in trouble because the videos live on, and so in 5 years someone's going to look at this and say, well,
Well, this is 2011, so
this
you
is
have
2011,
time.
that's right, I have time. I think that this notion of audience targeting, meaning understanding the audience is the most important element of consumer behavior is key, and that's very different than thinking about only the context of where an ad runs. So understanding more about those audiences and being better able to reach them and even ultimately tailor messages to them, we believe that that's going to accelerate within the next probably year and a half, and within 5 years we'll see a lot more buying based on that, because we saw the same thing happen in the internet as these new tools are adopted and as marketers see an advantage and a real ROI in doing that. We believe that that's going to accelerate. So I think that's the first thing. We'll continue the march toward addressability. The one unintended consequence of addressability, though, is that if you have ultimate addressability, there will be some balance between very fine targeting and delivering to anonymous consumers a very specific message, and the ability to use TV for what it's best for in that scale. As cost of production of television commercials continues to drop, as cheap, high-quality cameras are available, there will be more content available, but ultimately there will be a balance between scale and targeting that happens as addressability comes. I think that's the second thing, and also with that comes the complexity of actually stewarding buys. So we saw in search marketing, for example, that search marketing campaigns became so complex that you had to use software to manage those effectively. So and this is probably further out than 5 years, but you will see a class of software for the folks who are selling this kind of addressable advertising that manage that complexity in a way that TV has not had to deal with before. So I guess that's B2B. And then I guess the third thing is that we believe that TV advertising will ultimately grow as TV is better measured, as you're able to better understand the effect of TV ads on a particular audience and how that relates to your goal, whether that's introducing a brand or whether that's driving specific sales, that TV spend will grow.
What is your definition of TV viewing currently and looking ahead 5 years from now?
Yeah, well, the way that we think about television viewing is, you see it in the background, that large, probably 42-inch TV. That's the way we think about TV viewing now. Now we're at a point where there are really high-quality screens that are available. The iPad is probably the best example of that, where you can watch content and have a good experience of viewing on that content. I think we'll see phone screens get a little bit larger as well. And what ultimately will shake out is that there are certain kinds of content that are best viewed on large screens, certain kinds of content that are are viewable on any size screen. So if you're watching Lawrence of Arabia, you're going to choose the best screen for that content, and in other situations you're going to choose the best available screen. So that television viewing traditionally has been lean back and enjoy. I think with these devices, either to consume content or as companion devices, changes that dynamic slightly. But as Americans, we still want to be entertained, and I think while we will lean forward a little more, particularly as we hold devices in our hands much closer to us, ultimately TV is still the best form of entertainment available to a large group of people. And television viewing, while it does fragment out to devices, it's still extremely entertaining, and I think the entertainment value there will continue.
So by TV viewing, you mean viewing on the big screen or viewing on
yeah,
small
so
screen?
TV viewing, I think, over time becomes really the best available screen that you have, measured against the experience for the content that you're viewing, and the device itself at that point becomes less important. particularly when you're delivering information over IP, over Internet Protocol, where it doesn't matter, you don't necessarily have to be in your living room to have an iPad and view television content. You might be viewing television content I actually commute in on the train, and I see people viewing TV content and video content on the train on their iPad. So it changed. They're still just sitting there watching that content, but that notion of television viewing isn't really about the device. It's more about the experience of viewing the